to the diaper aisle. Get you some Pampers for your new life. Me no sell no abortion.
Okay.
Nah. Yeah.
Okay. Hello. Thank you for tuning into the second segment of Rainy Days with Tabs. 20 questions with Woodny.
That's right. Me. For those who didn't catch it last time. Not Whitney. Wood like the material. Me like the body part. Woodny.
But why wood like the material?
Because what other wood is there? Well, you might also ask, what would a woodchuck do if a woodchuck could?
Okay, you ready?
She hit me with it. You finished and you done.
Yeah. Which one?
Which one? Let me know. Yeah, this is going to be the continuation of our last episode of 20 Questions with Tabs. We're just continuing on with our second half. And guys, this one's going to be a doozy. A doozy. Yes.
What is a doozy?
A doozy is something that's supposed to be positive.
Okay.
I don't know. I always took doozy as...
So you don't actually know the meaning?
I mean, you didn't know of the meaning of the word yada yada. Actually, fun fact, in Hebrew, yada means whatever. So yada yada is whatever.
Nice.
Yeah. You didn't know that, but you said it anyways, didn't you? And that, my friend, makes you a hypocrite.
Wow, that's God. Can you imagine being called a hypocrite on your own show? That's crazy.
That's what we do out here, man. So let's kick it off. So we're gonna kick it off with a very humbling question. It's really gonna take us home.
Okay.
We're really gonna land this plane, get it started.
Yes.
So how is Tabitha's mental health? How is Tabitha's mental health right now?
Ooh, right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good question.
Isn't it?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm doing okay. I don't know why I'm not great. Like why I can't say, oh, I'm doing great. I can't really pinpoint like exactly what it is. I just feel different this year. And I don't know if like, I don't know. I don't know how my mental health is. I think one thing I will say is that I'm trying to figure it out.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to figure out what it is that I am feeling and why I'm feeling how I'm feeling. This is going to be the first birthday in many years where I haven't made a big deal out of it. And I've just kind of been like, I don't really plan on doing nothing. Like, my friends seem like they might have plans for me, and I don't know. And I was even telling them, like, hey, you don't have to do anything for me. Like, it's not a big deal. And I'm like, why am I not even, like, excited that people are considering me in that way? I don't know what it is. I think I'm just, I don't know. I like to think that I'm mellowed out and I'm just chilling. I'm just going with the vibe. But a part of me feels like deep down something's bothering me. And I just need to address it. But whenever that comes up, I'll just deal with it then. But as of today, I am figuring out how I feel mentally.
Yeah, figuring out. So it's just maybe you might just feel like there's something deep on the inside that's just screaming, I don't want peace. I want problems, always. You know?
No.
You really gotta get that out. You gotta get that out.
Seriously, that's what it is. Needs to go. Yeah. No, we want peace always.
You want peace always?
Oh my God.
Yeah, you gotta tell your mind that. That's what you gotta tell your mind. You gotta let your mind in on that memo.
I'm telling you.
Because maybe you just did not get the email.
I'm telling you, I missed it. It was in my spam box.
Oh God, not the spam box. What are your thoughts on mental health? Have you ever been?
Have I ever been?
What are your thoughts on counseling?
Okay.
When it comes to mental health?
What you mean, have I ever been?
I mean, have you ever been?
You don't be listening to my podcast?
Not everybody who's listening to this podcast would have listened to all of them.
That's fair.
All right.
I see a therapist.
Do you now?
It's through, so it's funny because I started seeing her when I had first moved down here from Tampa. And that in itself was like a transition period. So I really needed her. I was moving back home into my mom's place. I had just gotten out of a very serious, what I assumed very serious relationship. It wasn't serious to him. And another denial from nursing school. And so I was just very much confused about my life and where I stood, and my feelings were just all over the place. And so I've always heard about therapy. It was, of course, it's always considered taboo in the Black community. But I didn't care. I knew like it was either I do this or I kill myself. It's like it's one of the two.
Like literally?
Yeah, I was just very, very depressed.
Emotional damage. Dang, yo. I'm sorry. Did I do that?
You were so insensitive. But yes, no, you're good. It was very tough for me at that time. Like I said, I had so many thoughts, and I wasn't able to process through all of them, and all everyone kept telling me was that it was going to be okay. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, no, but it doesn't feel like that right now. I need to do something about this. And so I started therapy, and as of I started therapy at the beginning of 2020. It was probably March, April of 2020. And so it's been a year. It's been a year and some change, and truthfully the best decision I have ever made in my life.
Why would you say that? The best decision outside of salvation?
Outside of salvation, yes. Because it was nice to learn more about myself. It was just nice to like do so much introspection and just realize like, okay, like I'm broken, and these are the reasons why it could be, and just work through those things, so I could build better relationships. Not only a better relationship with myself, but a better relationship with friends, and more importantly, my family.
Right.
Because I definitely did not have like the best relationship with my mother. We fight like sisters, and I did not want to do that with her. I wanted us to just be good. Man,
so for those of you out there considering therapy, consider this your wake-up call.
Do it. I recommend 10 out of 10. It's about finding a therapist that you can relate to. I feel like it's kind of like a little bit of dating, not gonna lie, because you might not like the first therapist that you run into. It's okay to just try another one, but don't try one person. You don't like them, don't like what they have to say to you, and then just be like, this is not for me.
I want you guys to take her words with a grain of salt. She did not literally mean date your therapist.
No, I didn't mean it that way.
She meant like just choose wisely, like, and be open that you have to the fact that you have options.
And if you have options,
yes,
absolutely. And if you don't like one therapist for whatever reason, and it's not because you just want your way or the highway, you just really don't vibe or click with them, that's okay, because I believe a therapist is you're supposed to have a relationship with them.
It's very personal, yeah.
Yeah, very personal. I mean, I remember the beginning of my therapy sessions used to just be me crying the whole time. I remember just one day I was having my therapy session. Mind you, this is like through telemedicine. I happened to be in Tampa at the time. I was visiting one of my friends, and I was having therapy at her house. And I'm like laughing, laughing so loud. And then she asked me once I was in, she was like, were you on the phone with your therapist? I was like, yeah. She's like, oh my God, Tabitha, you were laughing like it was nobody's business. And I'm like, yeah, because I have a relationship with her now. Right. Like she understands me in a way that not many people can, and that is truly a blessing.
Dang. I like that. I know you talk about a lot of what you hope Rainy Days with Tabs could do for those who are listening. But what would be something that you would hope no one ever takes from this podcast as a listener?
Oh God, that's a heavy question.
Isn't it though?
Yeah, because like, what would I not want people to take? This would be a good one. That my advice is foul proof.
I think you mean fail proof.
Yeah, sure.
It wasn't. You know what? It was a correction, not a suggestion. You meant. I presented it as a way that I wasn't supposed to. That was my mistake. You meant fail proof.
I meant fail proof.
Okay, good.
I meant like I could be wrong.
There you go. Yeah, as we all could.
Yeah, like don't be like, oh, Tabitha said it. No. I'm saying it from my point of view, And I'm still growing.
Yeah.
I think one thing that's been nice about even listening to episodes that I had from the very beginning is, and we've had this conversation, is just hearing how a little immature I was about a couple topics. You know, don't take everything I'm saying, you know, like as the way. No, I'm still learning this as I go. You just happen to be listening to it.
Do you know the way? But yeah, it is not the way.
It is not the way. It's just the way that's working for me right now, and that's okay that things adjust and change as time goes on. But like I said, you just happen to be listening to it.
Right. You're listening to the growth as it happens in real time.
Seriously.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and so that's definitely something I don't want people to. That's another thing. Wouldn't want people to judge me off of right now, or judge me off of last week or last month or a year ago. I want you to understand that I am a growing individual, and I'm okay with making mistakes and changing the way I view certain things. I feel like that's a really big part of growth.
As all people should be, especially in their 20s.
Yeah.
So you're kind of like that friend that always gives that bomb advice, but at the end you give a disclaimer like, but I don't know.
But I don't know. It's your life. Live your life, girl. Live your truth. Like they always say, live your truth.
Oh gosh.
Whatever that means.
Yeah, we're not gonna get started on that.
Okay, yeah.
Have you ever gotten negative feedback about an episode? If so, what has been said in that feedback, and could you tell us from who?
You know, it's funny because I feel like you've given me feedback. I don't feel like
given
it was
you
negative.
Oh, girl.
I don't feel like it was negative. I think it was just feedback.
Yeah.
And it was literally what we had just spoken about. Like, I think I was going through a time where like, Tab, I don't feel like you should look at it that way. And it was me going back and saying, okay, but that's how I looked at it in that moment, and that's okay. Because my mind did change. It was like one episode to the next, I was like looking at something completely different. And I think you even noticed that. And so it wasn't negative, it was just really interesting to hear how, it's always interesting to hear how other people feel about what you have to say.
Yeah.
Because it's like, at the end of the day, like this podcast is my baby. And so when I'm hearing something negative, I'm like, what you mean?
Yeah. You're very protective. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't feel like it's always necessary. I think it's understanding, it's understandable that you would have a different perspective than I do, but you also help me see, oh yeah, I was being, you know, very emotional in that conversation, or just not really seeing all views. And I think that's one of the things that I kind of struggle with sometimes when I listen back to episodes, is like just reminding myself I have to stay authentic and true to how I felt in that moment.
Right.
And that's okay. It's annoying because I sound like I can retract that episode, and that person and the people listening can't listen to that part.
Yeah, it's forever in the ethos.
I know, and so that part sucks. I'm like, oh, if that's the only episode you listen to, that's the only perception you'll have of me. But I'm not responsible for people's perceptions. I'm only responsible for myself.
There you go.
And my growth.
Yeah.
And so any other negative comments, I don't really get any. It's more so of, man, I wish that episode was longer, or you should make your episodes like an hour long. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing that.
Why would you not do that? That's not a bad.
Because I don't talk that much for it to be an hour.
You don't talk that much now, but that could change.
It could change. And if it does change, I'm open to it. But I'm not going to
You're not going to make that intentional change?
No.
No? Well, you heard it here first.
Go ahead, make your broadcast announcement. No, go ahead, make your broadcast announcement.
Nah, you had to let it be known. And so, I already asked you that. All right. Do you think you'll ever want or need a partner / co-host to be part of Rainy Days with Tabs? Why or why not?
Well, I would have to change the name for first and foremost.
Oh, well, no. I mean, there are podcasts out there that are pretty big and syndicated, where like the Joe Budden podcast. Like it's literally called the Joe Budden podcast.
But then he has like several people on there.
Yeah, he has a few guys.
I mean, I feel like I'm able to do that already when I have guests come on.
That's true.
Yeah. And so, I mean, I don't know if I'll ever like just be like, okay, I'm going to have somebody else with me like for a long period of time. I wouldn't be opposed to it, actually. It would just take like a lot of pressure off of me, and I could just have a conversation. You guys would probably get more information out of me that way. And
that's probably true.
Yeah. So I wouldn't be opposed. If I do, I would definitely consider you. You've been.
Oh wow!
You've been awesome.
That was not intended as a shameless plug, guys. That just turned out to be something that she said off script. I mean, I try my best. You know, I'm here to do whatever it is that you need me to do. That's it.
Oh my goodness.
You know, just being a good personality. You know how it is.
Oh jeez.
Let me not start being Cardi B out here.
Yeah.
Dog, that negative advice one was really big. I like the way you answered that last question because I don't know. Some people can have different opinions about stuff that you say, and I'm just saying this to backtrack. But I don't know. Some people might, be like super reactive. Like, oh, I hope you stub your toe on your coffee table or you like bite into G off on accident. Like,
yeah.
I don't know, but it's true. You're responsible for what you say. Just for everybody who is out there living with other people in the world, which is everybody listening and not listening. Yes, you're responsible for yourself, but just be mindful. Be mindful of others and consider other people. And it's not a very hard thing to do, but consistently it can be draining. So
absolutely.
Yeah, hats off to those who actually do it, and I encourage those who don't to do it. So,
I really cannot complain. Like, I haven't heard anything, and I don't know if it's because I'm not out there, like where every single person, not every single person, but there's like a huge download amount. And I have to be honest, I'm dreading those moments because I feel like, I'm not even ready for that, but I think it's okay. Like, when it comes, I'll deal with it then. And growth is a process. And so for now, I don't really hear anything. And if they feel something, they don't share it. I don't know if I appreciate that or if I, would want the feedback, the constructive criticism. But I think for now it's okay the way things are, and when things change, I'll approach it then.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But please be kind.
Yeah. Be kind. Be kind.
Yeah.
Please be kind. We need more people in the world who are kind.
For sure. Yeah.
Where do you think the Lord will lead Rainy Days with Tabs next?
Every time people ask me this question, their follow-up, question, like they ask it and then they like have their opinion, and it's always followed by TV host. And I'm like, whoa, you host. People are too much.
Yo.
Right? I think now that it's like a bit much,
it's possible.
It's possible, but no. I think one thing I do think about is like speaking engagements. It's like if like they have conferences and they kind of want women that are like in their 20s to kind of give their perspective on certain things, like I'd be totally down for that, and just like carry that Rainy Days name with it. And that's pretty much as far as my mind can see in that regard. It's just being able to do like conferences or speaking engagements. Like I would definitely like to share my opinion on matters concerning women in their 20s, but other than that, I don't know. I was praying about it. It was like, I just want to do this for 3 years, and it didn't feel right. I didn't settle. My mind didn't settle on it. And I was like, why are you doing this to me, God? I just want next year to be my last year, and I feel like it's like, nah, it's not gonna be. And so that makes sense.
Just write it out for what it is and let it be what it is.
For sure.
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. For sure.
So, what has been the most memorable episode to you and why?
Yeah. Oh my God. Memorable episode. Oh God. It was my comparison episode. It was the one where I talked about me dealing with the fact that I have this huge birthmark on my right leg, and it's literally been like, I considered the thorn in my flesh. That was a really big episode for me because I feel like I've done everything in my life to kind of conceal that. And so it was like, it's brought to light. It's like, and just dealing with the fact that I'm okay, and it's okay, and I just need to love who I am, and that's every aspect of me. And there's been times when I've even said like, oh, okay, like God made my leg that way just so I wouldn't be out there in the streets
Oh God.
I know, it's so ridiculous.
Don't be
Because I'm
putting
like,
things on God.
I
like
know,
that.
right?
Oh my God, don't do that.
No, I definitely dealt with that. I was just like, no, Tab, just be quiet. Like God created you the way you are. And I just, like, recently I've looked at pictures of, myself, and I've gotten out of the realm of, okay, I'm just going to wear, pants so that it doesn't show. Just like all of this mental just anguish. And I just remember just wearing like some skirts to talk off. And in the pictures, I looked at both of my legs. I'm like, oh my God, that's so, like, I can see, like, someone else looking on the outside and be like, wow, her legs are so, like, that's so unique. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's something that sets me apart. And I don't know why I don't want to be set apart. Like, why don't we want to be individuals?
Well, no, this is not a we thing. It's more of a you thing. Because, I mean, we right here is not, it's not me. I love being me.
I ain't talking about you.
I'm talking about you. You speak we, like, you speak
I mean
French.
we as in, like, society.
Society, you heard her.
The society is not want to be set apart. You want to be part of everything. Why can't you be an individual? Why cannot you be the same person? Why can't you be your own person?
You're better than that.
You're better than that.
You're better.
Yes. So yes.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that would, for sure. That one, and there was one where I was like crying the whole episode. I like that one too.
Okay. You have this weird thing with crying, and you like that.
I do, because I feel like,
to each their own.
how many people you hear crying on podcasts?
I mean, I see a bunch of people cry on the Instagram posts, and I think it's weird. I think it's weird that you film yourself and put it on Instagram.
Really?
Like, while you're crying.
That's how you be feeling?
No, I don't. Yeah, I mean, it's different. Like, the things that I like might be weird too. I love Japanese anime. I love that. But, like, some people are like, oh, that's so weird. I'm like, oh, different strokes for different folks. To each their own.
Okay.
Yeah, so, yeah. You got your thing, I got mine,
I feel like it just makes it more relatable.
Yeah, crying is relatable.
Crying is relatable. And I don't intentionally say, oh, I'm going to cry on this episode. But tears just be flowing. I'm like, well. Hey, well, here it is.
Yeah, here it is. And let it be so.
And let it be so.
And that's just your form of expression. And ain't nothing wrong with that.
For sure.
Yeah. So, yeah, no judgment on my part.
For sure. Good.
Will there be more Rainy Day Diary episodes after that last one? Why or why not?
Oh my God.
Hey,
there's times when I cringe when I cringe listening to that episode.
You cringe.
I do.
All right, tell us why. Why do you cringe?
Because in my head, I'm like, all the different things that people could be thinking about me with that episode alone. It's like, I feel like I'm not able to control people's thoughts regarding me.
Yeah, no one can.
In that episode. And so that's always really interesting for me. With that being said, I don't know if there will be any more Rainy Days episode. I want there to be, and I think
Diaries.
That's what I said. What I said?
Yeah. Rainy Days
episodes. Yes, I don't know if there'll be any more Rainy Day Diary episodes. I would like there to be, but I don't know. I would love some topics if you guys have some.
Wow. All right. So.
No. I feel like you're the person that's trying to give topics.
No, I'm not trying to give a topic. She just gave the green light for you guys to slide in her DMs. I just want everyone to put that on record.
Okay,
that's just the way it is.
And I'll think about it. Yeah, sure. Send it over, and I'll make the executive decision.
The executive decision. She out here making executive decisions. Single, ready to mingle, making executive decisions.
Oh.
Men, what more could you really ask for? Here
they
you
want
go.
A trophy wife.
Not a trophy
they
wife.
They do.
Oh,
they don't want a powerful black woman. They want a trophy wife. They want someone that's going to cater to them and whatever. It's another episode.
Another topic for another episode.
I'm telling you.
So what's the process of you coming up with topics for episode? What was that process like?
It's actually the hardest process ever because there's times when something comes into my mind.
I heard that one. Yeah. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, guys.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm laughing, and I told Woodny I heard that one because he was telling me that in the last episode that we recorded that he coughed, and I'm like, I didn't hear that. Oh, my bad.
You gotta tell people don't do that.
It's Rainy Days. We do that here. But no, so it's actually hard for me because when I am going through a rainy day, there's a topic that comes to my mind. And I'm like, maybe I should talk about it. But then I also feel like, no, I'm not ready to deal with this yet. And so there's times when I just really don't know what else to talk about. And so I'm so happy when I have a guest. Because they could just talk about their life for that moment, and I could just sit and simmer and still deal with whatever I'm dealing with. And so it's hard to come up with topics. I do ask that my listeners send me topics, because there's things that you guys are going through that I'm not even thinking about, that I have gone through or I'm going through, and I just can't think about it. But yeah, it's hard sometimes to just come up with things to talk about. Not only because how vulnerable do I want to get, but then also like, I don't know what to talk about right now.
Hey, we're just old.
But it's not raining always. I say it.
Yeah, it's not raining always.
It's not raining always.
So, how has this podcast affected the dynamic of your relationship with Jesus and other people?
Yeah, I definitely see the humanity in myself and in others. And it's definitely forced me to think about other people and not just myself. And not only to just think about them, but to pray for them. Because most of the things that, we all go through, it's like, I like to think about this, and I have a question for you. How many people do you think are actually praying for you?
Well, that's a different answer for me.
Okay.
That's a different answer for me, because I feel like, because of my boisterous way of living, more people will know me before I know them, because I'm so loud that I take their notice. And sometimes there are prayer warriors who are like, maybe he needs some prayer.
Yeah.
And they'll catch more of me than I will of them.
Okay.
And so I think a lot of people are praying for me.
And that's fair. And
yeah.
And now that I think about it, that's a fair question for you, considering your position in your life. But I think about other people, and they may not have anyone praying for them. So I like to take the position to pray for others, specifically to pray for my listeners. And yeah, they might have a grandma, mom, somebody, but at least you have someone else.
Yeah. That's
And so it's brought me closer to God, because I'm considering other people, and I'm loving on other people, which is what he wants us to do.
Yeah, that he does. And it's actually a very different answer than I thought you'd give, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
What did you think I was going to say?
That's the thing. I didn't have anything in particular that I thought you would say, but I didn't think that would be the answer.
Cool.
Yeah, so.
Nice.
Different strokes for different folks,
It's your favorite line right now.
It is. It is. That and emotional damage. That's also another one. I love that. I don't know why.
I have to listen to that. I haven't seen that actual TikTok. Is that a TikTok?
I think so, but I'm not on TikTok, so.
Okay, you have to show me where you get that from, though.
Yeah, for sure. I'll definitely show you, because it's absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
And one of the last question I want to ask is really off script. When it comes to living your life, everybody's gonna have something to say, and
right.
Everybody's gonna offer advice. Unfortunately, some will hold advice. But what would you say is the best advice you've ever been given in life?
Oof, God, that is a hefty question. Best advice I've ever been given.
Best advice you've ever been given. And she takes a moment to ponder.
I know. No, this is a really difficult question to answer, only because I've, by God's grace, been given great advice during that time, right? Because one thing I'm learning is that advice for this season may not be the best advice for the next, depending on what situation you're in. I have to say true to what came to my mind, the very first thing that came to my mind. And it was an advice I had been given really young, and it's a verse. And it's to trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding.
Interesting. Do you feel like you're taking that advice?
No. Not always.
That's just funny, because you said it was the best advice you've ever been
given. It is
given.
the best advice, but just because it's great advice doesn't mean we take it.
That's true, yeah.
And I don't feel like I'm taking that advice at times. I struggle with it, actually. Sometimes I feel like my understanding is what it is, and it's not. It hasn't been, but I just can't get that. It's not sticking.
Yeah, the Lord will never sin against you. He is holy, holy, holy.
Yeah, I mean, and I've been learning that, and I think it's something that God is dealing with me about. I mean, I read Jackie Hill's book. Well, I'm not finished reading it, but one of the things that she says is that
her whole name is Jackie Hill Perry.
Jackie
Let
Hill
us not
Perry.
disrespect Preston like that.
Oh my God!
Come on, I'm standing
Don't
up for you,
do
big
that.
man. I'm just trying to keep big man in the loop. Jackie Hill. Get out of it. It's Jackie Hill Perry.
I knew her before she was married. So that was like the first thing that came to my mind. But yes, Jackie Hill Perry. She has a book called Holier Than Thou. And what she says in the book that sticks with me is, if God is holy, that means that he cannot sin. And if God cannot sin, then he cannot sin against you. And if he cannot sin against you, then he is the most trustworthy being there is.
Yeah, amen.
And I'm just trying to let that simmer in my mind. Because it's true. I know it to be true. So yeah.
There you have it, guys.
Yeah.
All her answers coming to theaters near you. Nah. You guys know, well, you know what? I'm not going to end this off. I'm going to let you pray, and then I'm going to let you end it off. Because I ended it off last time.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's only fair to pass it back to the original owner.
Absolutely.
Original, not better, just original. Just, putting that out
you're
there.
going to have to type it down.
Disclaimer.
Type it down. Okay.
Ooh.
You ready?
Yeah.
Gracious Father, I just want to tell you thank you so much for this podcast. I remember the thought came to my mind. I was driving down I-75 and I said, man, I wish there was a podcast where people could relate to the person that was talking. And the thought came to my mind for it to be me. I was like, heck no, I ain't doing that. I'm too private for that. I made up every single excuse. And you you did so many different things to confirm to me that that was the right decision. And hearing the reviews and hearing, reading text messages and hearing people say, man, I really needed that episode, or man, I could really relate to that. That just, it just confirms to me that what this podcast is doing is what it was what it was created to do. Its original intention, and that means more to me than anything. I could have literally taken it and just spun it around and made it whatever, but I leaned on you, I counted on you, and it's doing, the fruit is being produced. And I cannot tell you thank you enough. I thank you for this podcast. I thank you for every single listener. I thank you for Woodny. I thank you for everyone that has supported me, everyone that has pushed me, everyone that has egged me on and said, you could do this. I believe in you. People that listen to the podcast absolutely every single week. I have a family in Illinois. I don't know you, but thank you. Thank you, my Illinois fam. I see you. I appreciate you. And once again, Lord, I don't have any words. I'm just very grateful for Rainy Days. Thank you for this outlet, and I pray that it will continuously be a blessing, not only for me, but for everyone that listens, that they'll be able to get little nuggets of information that will help them or propel them forward, not only for now, but for the many other episodes to come. I love and trust in you, not because I deserve anything, but because you're a great God. In Jesus' mighty name I pray, amen.
Amen.
And you guys know, it does not rain always, but it's raining today.
So go stand in the rain.
Wow. So please
That was
go
forceful.
stand in the rain.
That was very, very aggressive.
Oh, yeah. Jeez. Thank you, guys.